My name is Tony Seeley. I am from the 492 Korna Club. We are a community arts group that does community projects about social issues in the local community. Today, I'm here to promote and deliver a community playback theatre project. It's the third year of 492's funding from Department of Government Levelling Up, Windrush Day. We've been granted another Windrush Award, and this year I'm delivering another performance project, which is basically Windrush Playback Stories. And Windrush Playback Stories is essentially allowing an audience to come together to share important stories about the Windrush. That's personally to them, stories that they've heard, stories that they may have been told. But essentially, they come together as an audience.
So it was all up for 10 years with my mother and my aunties, and came to England at 10. And my story of that experience tells of a young man who had great hopes, who had not seen his dad until he was 7, and when he came to England, was looking forward to seeing his dad and living with his father, but not realising what those first formative years with his mother and his auntie did for him. And when he came to England, he went into trauma.
Being a teacher and looking after young people, I think it's important that our children learn about their history. And Windrush is a generation of people that have gone through lots of stories that have proved how rich we can be as a people to British culture.
From 10 to 16, I was in transition to adulthood, critical ages of change. I had no guidance, no morals, no values. I was just caught up in the system of the value systems of this world.
Very important for students, young people, to learn about stories that have gone on before. It connects them, it educates them, and it opens their horizon, basically, to new things of understanding. It enables you to engage with others, it enables you to relate to others, because once you know who you are, you're able to relate to other people as well.
Why did she send me away? Why did you send me away?
I'm in England for a better future. But now it's just about survival, food, a home, warm. I'm here for a better future.
Why did you send me away?
For a better future.
Don't they love me?
I'm here for a better future.
I really, really love you.
Do you feel that the actors did your
Oh, they did very well.
I'm going to open this up to the audience now. I'm going to say around you or next to you, just talk to someone. Has this story brought something out in you? Talk about your story. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and then I'm going to come back to the audience and choose another story.
Knowing your story, knowing your identity, knowing your history is extremely important. And this event actually showed all of that.
Came from Jamaica in 1961, when the Windrush people, the second batch of the Windrush people were coming, came on a ship to Southampton, Colby, Scania.
Found so many interesting stories coming from people that come from the Caribbean and parts of Africa. And I feel that the culture, the music, the history is vital for us to share so that we can express ourselves and we can know how to communicate our feelings.
When I came, my brother paid £75, 75 dege pound for me to come on the ship. Anyway, long and short of it, when I landed, came at Southampton, I lived with my brother, and then I had a job as a nurse, working in a hospital. My dear, the response that I get in the hospital, wow, I was treated so badly. But anyway, it went on. It was like, you know, like getting a room from then on. No blacks, no dogs, and no Irish. That's my story.
I come to this country to give up. I come to make something of myself. I ain't coming to wave no white flag. I come to be a nurse. That's what I came in for.
Asconia over the ocean. Asconia over the sea.
No blacks,
Asconia over
no dogs, no Irish. I won't be waving no white flag in this country. I'm going to stand up for mine and defend.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm coming to England to make money. I'm excited to come into England.
I don't know why I pay £75 for this. £75 for this, yeah.
Right, my story starts on a ship, in a nursery on the ship, traveling with my 4 younger siblings. I was the eldest, so I was in charge. I remember having breakfast on the ship and all these strange foods laid out. And I looked at the cornflakes and I said to my brother, "What is that?" He said, "Don't you know? It's fried lettuce." He's such a know-it-all. Anyway, another thing I remember on that journey was the Jamaican nurses. They would come in at night, you know, and make sure we were all in bed. But I'd have one eye open and watch them go through the suitcases and take things out. So there were things that never arrived to England because they would take talcum powder, whatever they wanted to take, they would take, you know, my parents would never know about it. I also remember my mother, the day we docked, and my mother had an armful of duffel coats. I didn't recognise her, although we'd only been separated for 1 year. She'd left us for 1 year with grandparents. I didn't know it at the time, but I was short-sighted. But I noticed this couple standing just looking at me while I was packing the suitcase. And she kept looking, this woman kept looking. And it was like out of the short-sightedness, her features appeared to me. And I realised it was my mother, and I ran up to her and hugged her, and she said, "I was waiting to see if you'd recognise me, if you'd forgotten me." And the next thing I remembered, we were on a train from Southampton, and we looked out, and there was smoke everywhere, greyness everywhere. And my little brother, who was 2, he was an early talker, he said, "I do like England." So my mum said, why not? Only bakeries, England, how I don't like England. So that was his concept of smoke. If you saw smoke coming out of a chimney, it had to be a bakery.
I found this event online and I wanted to come and see it because I love drama and into drama, and seeing stories come alive is something that I wanted to see the process. But I had a go at telling my story, and I was in a magical Alice Wonderland experience because I was absolutely enthralled to hear those voices from the past saying words that I'd heard in the past and feelings I felt in the past come right back.
Indian Oriental gentleman. Walk. West Indian Oriental gentleman.
I don't like England.
Walk.
I don't like England.
West Indian Oriental gentleman.
So what occurred to me was what a therapeutic and really the potential of this process. There's so much more that can be done with it, and I think they should really explore this process to use with people with probably mental health problems, because there is so much to unpack. There's so much trauma that these people have been through.
The evidence is in our books, the evidence is all around us. And I think at this point, being part of Windrush Playback Theatre is really important, because it allows us to feel free to get in touch with our feelings and to express them in a safe place, but also to make the world aware of the generation that have gone before us and the impact that they've had on British culture.
What I experienced tonight was so enthralling. I was in a magical place. It was a magical experience to see how these actors, and you know, a lot of kudos to them that they were able to listen and to pick out the key things to replay. I don't know who did the training, but well done to them. I think it was so important, and there's so much more potential for this. I'd really love to see it again, and I'd love more people to experience what I went through tonight.
It's so important that we hear about people's stories, these pioneers who have worked tirelessly in Britain to help build back this society. It's important to hear these stories of these pioneers who have been through all sorts of challenges to be where they are today, so that their future generations can know about the Windrush and it can never, ever, ever be forgotten.